Welcome back to the Australian Fishing Championships in Forster. We're tracking now with Darren "Dizzy" Borg from Team Mercury, and by the looks of things, he's heading up into Wallace Lake. For a closer look at this outstanding arena with so many options, here's Steve Starling.
Forster lies about 4 hours drive up the Pacific Highway from Sydney on the picturesque mid-north coast of New South Wales. The twin towns of Forster and Tuncurry lie on either side of the broad entrance to this expansive estuary, and they're linked by a long bridge. This healthy tidal system is fed by several rivers that flow into a large lake network full of islands and sandbars. Man-made oyster leases, racks, rails, floating cages and splashboards dominate the lower estuary. Last year, 3 of our pros opted to try muscling those brim out of these famous oyster racks. Delicious oysters. It's one of the things that Forster is justifiably renowned for. Fish love eating them, and so do I. But they're a bit of a mixed blessing for our pro anglers. Sure, they attract the brim, and the anglers know they need to be fishing close to the oysters to catch those big brim that'll make a winning bag. But they're hard on tackle. The braided gel-spun polyethylene lines that most of our anglers will be using is incredibly strong for its diameter, but under pressure, if it hits one of these oysters, it cuts through it like a razor blade. Who could forget Scotty Towner's frustration last year when that happened to him again and again? The event was ultimately clinched by Darren Borg using a high-risk finesse approach. Darren ended up using cobweb-thin 1 kilo line straight through to his soft plastic lure with no leader at all to coax these well-educated brim onto his hook and ultimately into his net.
Look at that for a brim.
Well, there's Timmy Morgan from Team Hummingbird. Now, this is unusual. Timmy normally starts down at the paddock on those racks, but he's picked completely different country. A disused oyster rack, all broken, all laying on the bottom. Heaps and heaps of oyster and structure and food for big brim, especially as the tide rushes past it. A very, very strange but good tactic. I wonder if it'll pay off.
Steve, given that Tim's been so successful here at Forster, he's surprised by this tactic first up.
Yeah, look, for Tim not to fish his favourite washboards down near the mouth of Forster there, very unusual, but he's scaled down the line here. He's fishing some pretty open structure.
Well, it could be the right decision, because as you can see, he's on for what looks like a pretty good sized fish.
Much better. Come on, let's get this one in. Oh, it's a good fish, this one. Yes! Excellent. So 2 casts after that little one. Just casting past those poles now in the shallows on that high tide and got that nice fish there, probably about 28 or 29.
Well over the limit of 25 centimetres to the fork in the tail, Team Hummingbird is on the board. Now to Darren Borg from Team Mercury. Let's take a look at the stats of the man we call Dizzy.
Darren Borg is ABT's Mr. Consistency. He's won 2 events this year, and of those 28 events he's fished, he's very rarely outside the top 10. He's won over $20,000 this year and ranked number 2 in the country.
And that talent is certainly on display at the moment. We're inside the first hour. Now, he already has one in the live well. He's fishing the weed beds, searching for number 2.
There's a bump, and there's a fish. That was all right. Big long cast right away from the boat. Because we're on these weed beds, I'm going to back my drag right off. So I don't want those fish throwing those hooks too much, because we just can't afford to lose too many fish at the moment. There he goes, he's seen the boat. He says, I don't want to be near this boat. Just take our time, be patient. He's gone under the boat now. Out the other side. Oh yeah, he's a good fish. Oh, tell ya, we want this one. This fish is really good. I didn't think he was this big, but I tell you what, I just had a good look at him then. He's a good fish. This will equal anything they get in the racks today. All they do is get him into this net now. Oh, come on. Be good. Be 8. Oh, check that out. Off the flats, not in the racks. Just goes to show you don't need to go out there and muscle your way into big fish to get them in the boat.
Darren Borg must be very confident at the moment, because that's a fish that's around 35 centimetres and he's putting a tag on it. The guys usually use that to mark their smallest fish in the well and use it to upgrade later on.
Well, he is the leader inside the first hour. Let's head over to Steve Duff.
We're at our third position, which is sort of a break-up between two positions. We've got a flat on this side and we've got the floating racks over on the other side, which we're going to work our way across to. And just hope that we start finding a few fish, because at the moment it's very daunting and there's not a lot happening. The longer the lure's in the water, better chance we've got of finding those fish.
Wonderful close-up shot of Steve Duff. Just twitching the rod. Just getting the lure to dart in the water, enticing the brim. He's using all his skills and he needs something to happen at the moment. He's using his hummingbird sounder in shallow water and he's on.
There we go. There's our first one. If I can keep him out of that line over there. Feels like a reasonable fish. Let's just hope. Give him a bit of drag. I'll just skip through here so he doesn't get us wrapped up back on those poles. Oh, it's a good fish too. I don't know whether he's quite done yet, but we got him in. There we go. There's number one. And there's a nice start for us. Nice little fish. He's only probably 500 grams, but I'll take 5 of those at the moment, then we'll go and get our bigger fish from there. But it's a start, and that's what I wanted, just the start.
All our pros are now on the board. We'll take a break. When we return, it's Fantastic Forster on AFC.